The FPS debate has once again cropped up after this tweet came out from Detective Seeds on Twitter. FPS debate has once again cropped up after this tweet came out from Detective Seeds on Twitter.
This is a new episode. That's what you need. You need your friends.
What's up, guys? According to EA, we should be expecting a really good game coming up in a couple of months. And there's a ton of news regarding licensing as well for FC26. FCIQ was...
This was last year.
So I've already... Did you notice that on the
See, look. The stand is very light. It's not like some stands you get a heavy one. No, 2 more to 25. And then the next 5 more will be on 30.
Just a deep dive, who knows? And then some point next week, we're gonna get the club's deep dive.
Clubs. Clubs. Deep dive, I think next one. I think the next one's clubs. Then manager. Clubs, then manager. There's only 2 more after this. There's only 2 more after this. There's 2 more after this. No. Yeah. Clubs. Deep dive. Then manager. That's it. This is the second now. We'll be on third. We'll be down 4 then.
I went over that. But yeah, man, let me know if you guys are hyped, guys. Let me know if you guys are hyped for the gameplay trailer. Hopefully they also show like the improvement on the interceptions. We got a little glimpse of that. The interception this year has been really bad. Standing tackles have been not great, super inconsistent. So let's see what EA cooks up. There's already 4,000 people waiting. Definitely gonna go up as the trailer drops. And yeah, let me know what you guys are excited for, man. I don't know if we're gonna see any like glimpse of pro clubs today. Maybe in the gameplay, I don't know. I don't know if they're mostly gonna show Ultimate Team gameplay. I think they're gonna show a little bit of everything. They're gonna show a little bit of Ultimate Team, a little bit of career mode, and a little bit of clubs gameplay. if it's anything like last week the trailer went by really quick, so we're obviously gonna go back once the trailer's done and break it down and like slow down a couple things. But last week the trailer was going by super fast. We had to kind of go back and break it down. But yeah, boys and girls, we got about 4 minutes of the gameplay. I think this year could be hopefully the year where EA actually puts in effort, hopefully listens to the community, because that's like their whole thing right now. They're listening to the community feedback. I want to mention, make sure you guys do these feedbacks, because they even have a completely deep dive just for the feedback. The site is already crashing. Like, make sure you guys do these feedbacks, because they actually are listening to it. There's like a player feedback portal that you can just literally whatever issues you have with the game or you want fixed, make sure you you tell them the issue, and they pretty much focus on clubs, pretty much every like thing regarding FC. So make sure you guys do those feedback to EA. I still gotta do mine because they do listen, or they try to. They try to listen. Let's put it that way. I don't know if they actually do listen, but they try to listen. Yeah, usually the deep dive drops after the trailer, so we'll have this website in the background. So as soon as we finish the trailer and breaking it down, we'll go into the deep dive and hopefully we can get a glimpse of clubs. Put up, Elijah. All right, boys, we got about 3 minutes left until the game.
Victor Gyökeres has actually joined Manchester United. He joined Arsenal. He'll be.
This was half an hour ago.
Give us up. We're gonna be playing some gameplay today. I'm not sure, but yeah, let's see what the comments are saying on the EA's page. Okay, this is the real gameplay video or radio that actually listen to us or not. Good moves separating the offline and online gameplay. Yeah, I told you guys about that. There's gonna be an online gameplay and an
I think manager's gonna be the fourth one. I think manager's gonna be next. After next week one. It might be next Tuesday when we're at the same time. Choosing on and I finished that in a while.
Go over the deep dive. And they're probably going to show, I don't know if they're going to show the new play style, but they're for sure going to talk about it in the deep dive. For sure, in the website deep dive, they're definitely going to go over the new
Alexa, come on.
Okay.
Make gameplay better. Those three words summarize our full focus this year. An overhauled gameplay experience that's responsive, rewarding, and powered by your feedback. Here's what's new. First, we separated gameplay into two presets.
Oh,
Competitive gameplay, customized for more responsiveness and player control in online modes. And authentic gameplay, tuned for more realism in offline modes, so that your experience is tailored to where and how you play. Second, we refined the gameplay fundamentals across all modes: pace, passing, tackling, saves, physicality, everything to address your most requested changes. And third, we added a host of other exciting community-inspired features and updates, from new player roles and play styles to a high contrast mode. Let's start with the biggest change, and something you've been very vocal about: splitting gameplay into two separate
oh my!
where and how you play. For the first time, online modes like Football Ultimate Team and Clubs will have their own tailored gameplay preset called Competitive Game, while offline modes like Manager and Player Career will default to Authentic Gameplay.
Jesus, EA, what have you done to this?
And attacking football that rewards you for skill, timing, and quick decision making. It's designed to feel extra responsive, give you more control on the pitch, and deliver a more consistent gameplay experience. Passing feels quick, dribbling feels more dynamic, the paciest players feel more explosive. We've even chosen the most responsive animations to keep matches feeling fast and smooth. Auto tackles and blocks are less common, encouraging you to take control of defense. And you'll be rewarded for great timing with fewer tackles bouncing back to your opponent. Goalkeepers will also parry the ball to safety more often, reducing the number of frustrating rebound goals that feel out of control. Every detail of the competitive gameplay experience is built to deliver on those three community priorities: responsiveness, consistency, and control. Authentic gameplay, our preset for career, is immersive, realistic football that emulates how the real-world game looks, feels, and plays. Designed to deliver a simulation gameplay experience, from true physics to our most realistic animations, capturing the same pace and unpredictability that makes football great. Authentic gameplay will still feel responsive, but matches will be less rapid-fire than in FUT, giving that last-minute corner or goal-saving tackle the real-world gravitas that we know our career players love. And in contrast to competitive gameplay, things like AI defending will be tuned differently to reflect how important teamwork is in football. Although competitive and authentic are customized for different styles of play, you'll still be able to toggle between both presets in kickoff and career to tailor your gameplay experience. Our second big gameplay innovation for FC26 applies to both competitive and authentic gameplay: a focus on refining what we call the gameplay fundamentals: goalkeeping, agility, tackles and interceptions, passing and dribbling, attacking movement, and physicality. Here's what we've heard over the last year and how we rework those fundamentals to address your feedback. Goalkeepers are inconsistent. Expect keepers to be smarter and more consistent in FC26. We're using machine learning to train them in hundreds of thousands of in-game situations to find the best positioning, including those little micro steps world-class keepers use to close the angle. Changing directions feels so heavy. Players can now turn quicker and accelerate more explosively in any direction, making everyone feel more agile and responsive. And we continue to tune the relative pace of players to ensure that the fastest players feel like the quickest ones on the pitch. Tackles and interceptions often bounce back to my opponent. This is a big one we've dedicated hundreds of hours to improving. And now you'll be more likely to win the ball cleanly and retain possession in those moments. Passing and dribbling feels sluggish. Both of these are more responsive in FC26. Passing and dribbling will feel different between competitive and authentic, but they'll both be more fluid and reactive than last year to ensure that the game feels dynamic and in your control. My teammates need to make better runs. We agree that fluid attacking movement is key to fun and dynamic gameplay, and we've retuned the runs your teammates will make as you progress up the pitch to give you even more options and support. I can't protect the ball when pressed. We've created brand new ways for you to use physicality to shield the ball in FC26. By pressing the shield button, you can now seal off your opponent as they try to press you or bump them with your shoulder as you dribble to make a bit of space. Low drivens used to be great. We're bringing back a community favorite mechanic and improving them. Low drivens can now be triggered on demand by double tapping the shoot button, and this can be applied to all shot types, allowing you to turn your finesse or power shots into low dribbles with a second tap. This also replaces each of these updates to gameplay fundamentals is designed to address the most common feedback we get and together set a better foundation for the overall gameplay experience in FC26. Another widely requested feature we're excited to add this year is high contrast mode. We've made high contrast mode customizable so you can create a visual experience that's best for what you need. You'll be in control of the colors of each team, the keepers, the ball, the referee, and you'll even be able to turn off player or stadium shadows, plus adjust the overall pitch saturation. We've also added simplified skill moves, allowing you to perform a relevant skill with a simple flick of the right stick in a given direction. We're introducing 5 new playstyles in FC26.
Oh my lord!
Precision header, aerial fortress, game changer for those flare finishers, inventive for flare passers, and enforcer, which dials up those improvements to off-ball shielding. You'll also see new player roles in FC26 that epitomize the modern game. Ball-playing keeper, wide back, inverted wing back, and box crusher. Just like the other player roles, these new roles are opportunities to customize your tactical approach and push beyond a rigid formation. Great gameplay is at the heart of what makes an FC game fun. That's why we're so excited about FC26. The split of competitive and authentic gameplay allows us to customize and improve your experience based on where and how you play. And refined fundamentals across the game deliver on your feedback, making gameplay more responsive, consistent, and rewarding. There's so much more coming to FC26. Look out for more info in our upcoming deep dives, pitch notes, and on social. And pre-order the FC26 Ultimate Edition now to get an icon today in FC25, plus a debut icon in FC26 at launch, an extra active Evo slot, up to 6,000 FC points,
True, better responsive, more consistency, improved goalkeepers. Let's take a look at the deep dive because this is where where we're gonna get a lot of information regarding those play styles and just in general.
No, okay, well done, EA. Hopefully it fixes itself soon. In the meantime, let's very quickly just backtrack through this, and hopefully by the end of going through this again, that will be working.
Now we'll go back to the. Damn, no. I guess we'll probably get one. Did I skip it? I think it's coming up. Oh, okay. Here's the new play styles. Okay, so the first one, these play styles are going to be in clubs. The first one is precision header, which I think was power header. The second one,
Power shot.
I don't know the second one. I think the third one's Travella. Oh, I think the second one is like fancy passes. The third one's Travella. The fourth one is Aerial Fortress, which is Aerial now. And then the last one is Enforcer. Precision header. You probably just make your headers more accurate. Aerial Fortress to jump higher, give you better physicality. It might be different, game changer. That's it.
And they dink the ball over a slide tackle, whereas in offline gameplay, maybe there's like 10 variations that the game has to calculate which one it's going to do. these are all reasons why delay gets worse and worse the more animations they add. So that's good. I like that. I think that is perfectly fine.
Here's your reason.
Alexa,
will also carry the ball
stop.
to safety more often.
This is good. This is obviously really, really good. The amount, I mean, they even showed an example, right? Where was that? Oh yeah, also you can change these in your offline settings if you want to anyway, which is great. So, goalkeeping, agility, all of this stuff. So they showed this example of basically what would happen with the current gameplay settings.
Here's what we've heard
For a rebound. So this is exactly what you're conceding in FC25.
over the last year and how
The ball just gets parried straight to the attacker. Of course it does, basically every time.
rework those fundamentals to address
However,
feedback.
now
Goalkeepers are inconsistent. Expect keepers to be smarter and more consistent in FC26.
parrying it wide is something that they've worked on a lot. So hopefully that is going to be consistent when the game comes out. And there's people once again in the stream saying that they patch the game after a month and everything changes. I personally don't believe that they've done that in about 3 or 4 years. So people that are worried about this, they're like completely reworking the core gameplay mechanics.
Yeah.
That isn't going to get reverted
For-
unless everybody absolutely hates it and then they'll work on it and find a balance. But something like a goalkeeper rework, they're not suddenly a few weeks into the game going to patch it and you're going to concede rebound goals constantly. So don't be worried about
We're
that.
using machine learning to train them in-house to close the angle.
So
Changing directions.
this is one of the big things when it comes to responsiveness and dribbling and stuff like that. The amount of times, like, you can sort of understand it with someone like Haaland because he's a big bulky guy, massive frame, and so changing direction is going to feel a little bit slower with him. But when you're using a 5'8" small agile guy with ridiculous dribbling stats, the fact that he turns so slow is so frustrating. So this is what they've attempted to change here.
It feels so heavy. Players can now
With
turn
this
quicker and
change-
accelerate more explosively in any direction, making
So you see an example here of Mbappe sort of coming towards the ball, and then this through ball gets played, and he instantly turns, and he's gone.
everyone feel more agile and
Like that.
responsive. And we've continued to tune the relative pace of players
So that's good.
to which often bounce back to my
This is one of those where it's hard to judge this based off of what they're showing us here, because if Anticipate is a playstyle again this year, how much of a difference is Anticipate and Anticipate Plus going to make if you have made tackling and interceptions better on their own? Does it mean that these playstyles are going to have significantly less of an impact? What button is it? Oh no.
when we get
Oh, maybe I can't. Oh, I can do it. Yeah, this kind of scenario where you are the blue player defending and you get in a position, you time your tackle perfectly, and on the left-hand side, you'll see exactly what happens in this game. The ball just sort of ricochets between them, whereas on the right-hand side, you come out of it with a strong challenge and get away with the ball, and that attacker is no longer going to keep it. So will this be a consistent improvement and fix? Hopefully. Again, the question is all going to come out about
edge
anticipate
of ours to
and play
improve,
styles.
then now you'll be more likely to win the ball.
Same with interceptions. Is intercept and intercept plus going to be a massive thing or not? Life, I'm intrigued why you say that.
Cleanly and retain possession. Feel different.
Next, passing and dribbling.
Between
They've basically
competitive
said that they're just going to feel
Okay.
more
But
responsive and quicker when you're playing on the competitive gameplay.
But
Which
will
it
be
feels
more
like
fluid
everything
and
should
reactive
be.
than last year to ensure that the game feels dynamic and in your control.
So good.
Fluid attack,
This,
better runs.
this is a really interesting one for me because when I look back at the reasons why I think FIFA 17 was the best that we ever had, it wasn't just because of the fact that we got like champs and SBCs and stuff like that. The attacking AI in FIFA 17 is the best that we ever had because you actually had options. You had players off the ball that made really intelligent runs. So you had different players that you could play the ball to instead of, oh, I'm either going to have to dribble forward here or manually make that guy run and pass to him. Hopefully this will also mean that player lock isn't anywhere near as big of a
We
thing.
agree that fluid attacking movement is key to fun.
So like here, you see that striker pulling that move where he comes short and then bombs
and
forward
dynamic
here,
gameplay. And
allowing
we've
for that
retuned the runs
crazy through ball.
your teammates will make as you progress up the pitch.
Here, again, this kind of run doesn't happen enough on these games unless you manually trigger him. You'll get the ball here, and then you'll be wanting this guy to sprint forward, but unless you tap L1 or LB, he's going to take too long to realize it, and then this defender's going to come across.
To give you
But
even more,
when he's already making the run before you played that first pass, that's what I want from my attacking AI. I don't want them to only react when the ball is really, really close to them. I want to have options. Like, there's a world here where you could have kept the ball with the guy that was out wide, seen this attacking run, and done a like long cross to the back post. You wouldn't have had to go through the middle. So that's good.
more options and
I
support.
like it.
I can't protect the ball when pressed.
This,
created-
this is the one question mark that I think I have over this gameplay deep dive as it stands. Obviously, if the pitch notes work, which let's do a quick refresh. Not yet. Hopefully they do soon. The only thing why this worries me is because of time wasting. Time wasting currently doesn't really have any counters to it. You driven. Nothing to do with just tapping shoots like you have to do in FC25. What this also means is you can power up a driven shot by like filling up the power bar and then tapping shoots again, and they'll do a more powerful, faster shot that is still a low driven shot. However, the interesting part, I wouldn't even say is that, it's this.
And this can be applied to all shot types, allowing you to turn your finesse or power shots into low drivens with a second tap.
So you can do a low driven finesse, which I think was actually what the meta, like the best shot type was on FIFA 18, whereas in 17 it was just normal low driven. You're going to be able to do a power shot low driven, which is really intriguing as well. But this is why it's interesting.
This also replaces timed finishing.
The time finishing is gone. So for once, instead of just adding more and more and more and more mechanics and making things overly complicated, running out of buttons on the controller, they've decided you know what? We're getting rid of that one and we're bringing this in. Time finishing is done. It's out of the game. I wonder if this is partially to help with doing load drivens and adding more variety to them, but also to stop you being able to just green time a shot from 35 yards with a right back and ping it in because you've green timed it. Precision shooting is now going to take over as the main mechanic rather than just green timing. So if you really, really want to have better or more accurate shots, you're gonna have to switch to precision shooting instead of relying on just timed finishing.
Meaning that precision shooting will now become the primary skill-based mechanic for scoring goals.
There you
Each
go.
of these updates to gameplay fundamentals is designed to address the most
And then we've got the high
allowing you to
contrast
put
mode.
stadium shadows. Plus,
This is really cool. Some people have asked in the chat, if you turn on like
be
this
able to turn off
contrast
player
mode,
or stadium.
does this mean that if someone that you're playing against is using a stadium with shadows, are you still going to see them? No. This is going to work similarly to how kits work. So nowadays, you select what kit your opponent is wearing. So there are no clashes or anything like that. If you turn shadows off for the stadium, it does not matter what your opponent is using, you will not see any shadows.
Stadium shadows.
I think that's
Plus,
really, really good because
adjust the
there are some really annoying stadiums when it comes to the lighting in this game.
overall pitch saturation.
So
We've
that's
also
good.
added simplified skill moves,
Simplified skill moves interest me. We'll read
allowing
more
you to
about that.
perform a relevant skill with a simple flick of the right stick in a given direction.
And then we've seen new play styles
Precision
as
hit.
well. But we need the pitch notes to load so that we can actually look at this stuff in detail. Sometimes this just decides to work randomly. Like sometimes if we open up like EA's Twitter and then open it in a new window, then it actually decides that it wants to work. Sometimes not. So let's go to news and let's go to the deep dive, and it's still a 404 for me. Let's try it in a different browser and see if that has fixed that yet. Nope, still a 404 for me. So we can't look at the pitch notes just yet, which is frustrating.
Aerial
So I want to
Fortress,
see
game changer
all of
for
these
those
details.
flare finishers. Inventive for flare passers.
This is really interesting though, that they've split Travella into two. So Travella shots are now their own play.
I really.
Agora é possível escolher entre o benefício. Just the quantity of gameplay in FC26. Our focus this year can be summed up in 3 words: make gameplay better. FC26 is powered by your feedback, and we aim to make it feel more responsive, rewarding, and enjoyable. We concentrated on 3 main areas. 1, competitive and authentic gameplay separation. 2, gameplay fundamentals. 2, competitive is tuned for added responsiveness and higher player control, mainly focused on online modes like
Fuck me, look. Says win mode.
Ultimate Team and Clubs. Okay. Gameplay fundamentals, along with separating competitive and authentic gameplay, we had the goal of addressing the most requested changes by the community. Gameplay fundamentals. While the split of competitive and authentic gameplay will allow us to tweak each individually, there was a great deal of common feedback from the community around the general gameplay of FC. All of the improvements to fundamentals mentioned below apply across both competitive and authentic. Dribbling and movement make players more agile and responsive on and off the ball. Goalkeepers make them more consistent and intelligent. Defenders reduce the quantity of ball, make it more reliable to protect and shield the ball. First touches and controlling the ball improve the control of trapping the ball. Online and general gameplay responsiveness make the game more consistently responsive for both online and offline. Dribbling and movement. In FC26, dynamic dribbling is a new way to give you better control with increased responsiveness and more consistent outcomes. In order to achieve this, we made the changes below to our dribbling system. In FC26, dribbling has received a significant amount of changes to improve responsive and fluidity. Dribble touch intervals. Retuned how close the player keeps the ball to themselves when dribbling. The interval between dribble touches varies between bigger during drastic dribble turns to ensure faster and authentic turns. Okay. This is going to be FC25. Looks like that's Salah. So it seems like more agility, more touches. Oh, we got a little glimpse at tackle spammers. Wait, let's see that. Oh, wait, this is Mbappe? Wait, EA. Whoa, man. Oh, no. EA, man. You guys. So let me get this straight. You show Salah in this one, and then you show Mbappe, your poster child and the most OP player in the last 4 years. I'm confused. No, this is Salah? Okay, no, this is Salah. Okay. Sorry, they just changed it to Mbappe. That's Salah, guys. That's Salah. No, that's Salah. Okay. Now this is Mbappe. This is Mbappe. Sorry. Okay, let's see tackle spam. Okay. You can get a glimpse at some of the game actually right here. Actually curious to see. Okay, let's see here. Let's see how FC IQ is loading. Obviously, a lot of these cards don't have roles. So you have probably a... So let's see the center mids. One's checking in behind. One's going into the space. You have a wing back that just ran offside. Now he's going to try to go onside. They just did an offside trap. That makes the run. These two guys are smoking a cigar together. Okay, looks like the striker's checking back in now for a run. All right, let's see this. This is Mbappe. So player below ran in behind. Will he stop the run? Let's see. Goes offside. Got the right back. Okay. See the new formations. All right. Nothing crazy there with the runs. The dribbling does look better. We have removed the agile dribbling mechanic due to its low usage and to make shielding controls more consistent. Movement. We heard your feedback that players felt sluggish. Okay. Explosive sprint. Increased player agility. Run styles. An attacker versus defender. Improve the speed differentiation between attackers versus defenders to achieve an improved balance between the two. Okay. Acceleration types. We're going back to 3 acceleration types for more predictable pace of play. We felt that 3 types were easier to understand and created a better balance. Explosive, lengthy, and controlled. So if you're explosive, you've got an agility minimum of 65. This is the formula for it. Acceleration minimum 80. Male height max 6. Female height 5'4". Lengthy. Minimum has to be 6'1". Controlled is any player that does not meet the other 2 requirements. Yeah, I feel like EA just this year or whatever they did in the last 2 years, there's like, isn't there like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 types now? I don't even look at that stuff anymore. I used to actually look at like explosive, control, lengthy because it was more simplified, but it's gotten so crazy. There's a ton, right? Other changes, jockey. Improved jockey movement to be more agile and responsive. New jockey animations to improve maneuverability and feel more grounded. Turns. Improved animations for all types of turns. Low urgency. Improved low urgency and relaxed animations for players not directly involved in the play to be less frantic and have them ready to accelerate. All right, so we're doing doing defensive slides. Goalkeeper, deflection control. Goalkeeper saves. More reasonable decision making in a one-on-one situation. I don't like the sound of any of that. All right, let's see. FC25. All right, that's better. At least with the parry. I feel like I didn't really conceive that. Okay. So you just, okay, you just put that on the corner. Okay. Goalkeeper positioning. The new system uses machine learning to help AI control goalkeepers make more realistic decisions about winning positions. By analyzing countless scenarios, the AI can now better cut down angles and react to different types of attacks while adjust their position more intelligently. Oh boy. What are we doing, man? What are we doing, bro? If I'm in that position, I want to score there, bro. Man, these guys, Chad, once people wake up and realize that these guys can create their own problems and then they change it. Like, they spend 1 year advertising we're going to patch goalkeepers, bro, and not, like, make them worse because they were so OP. Bro, what was it, like last year or this year, we couldn't even score a one-on-one, bro. Back in the day, you used to go up to the keeper, you shoot at a good angle, you score. You go to the goalkeeper, you do a ball roll, you score. You can't ball roll keeper consistently anymore. So that doesn't, all right, hold on. So do I score this with a finesse shot? You know what I mean? Do I score this with a low driven? Because when I'm looking at this angle, as a 9 myself, I'm looking at the far post, probably curling it to the far post. So this guy does a strike to the far post. And I don't like how they're not showing me the angle. I want to see the other angle again because I can't really tell. So are we supposed to see and shoot near post there? Here we go. Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty good decision logically to shoot at that post, to be honest. Maybe a finesse or like a low driven finesse, but still.
when they just watch a loopy Travella go over their head, stuff like that. Improved base systems with goalkeeper handling, more consistent shot stopping, and more reasonable decision making in one-on-one situations. So, FC25, this, if this is not a foot champ's goal, then I don't know what is. So the same scenario playing out in this game. Oh, wait. Why have they bothered putting this in if they're going to do one that shows both games here? So this is the exact same scenario playing out with 25 mechanics and then 26. So that shot bounces straight back to them and they just head it in. Whereas now, it actually gets parried out for a corner. So it does look like you're going to see an increase in corners. So hopefully they're not ridiculously OP, otherwise we've got a problem. But it does mean significantly less rebound goals, which are one of the most infuriating things in the game. You can defend something perfectly, let them have a shot that has a really low percentage of going in, but then the goalie decides, oh, you know what, I'll just pat that down to you. Here, have a tap in. So hopefully that is not a thing now. One of the most significant updates in FC26 is the introduction of reinforcement learning goalkeeper positioning. Okay, this system helps AI-controlled goalkeepers make more realistic decisions about where to position themselves in the box. Okay. So in 25, leaving quite a bit of the far post open, I assume is going to be their example here. Whereas in 26, being more central in the goal instead of coming over to like this position where the mouse is. Oh, and direct side by side of where the keeper ends up and the positioning for the attempted save and stuff like that. Of course, they've not spoken about kickoff, unless it's further down here. They have not mentioned anything about the store packs because there's no reason to. If you want to buy them, you can. If you don't want to, you can not spend any money. And you'll be perfectly fine. Right. New volumetric animations. Animations play a crucial role in how goalies look and feel on the pitch. We've introduced new animations based on real-world capture data. Which, I mean, sure. I don't really care, to be honest with you. We could not improve the fundamentals of goalkeepers without touching the be a goalkeeper experience. So, you can now be a goalie in Club's Rush. You can also use goalkeeper playstyles when in be a goalkeeper mode. So previously in Rush, you were, of course, limited to being an outfield player. You can now actually play in goal if you want to. I'm assuming that this is only going to be in clubs, at least at first, which is why they're specifying this rather than just saying Rush, which, fair enough. Okay. New control schemes for anyone that plays as a keeper in clubs, then here you go. You'll care about this. For 99.9% of us, this means absolutely nothing. But there you go. Here's a few seconds if you want to pause and have a look at the new controls. New visuals when you're playing as a goalkeeper as well. Defending. We know how it can feel to time a tackle perfectly, only for the ball to go right back to the opponent. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So when working on fundamentals, we've spent a lot of time focusing on improving these issues during tackles, interceptions, and blocks. Our goal is to reward you for well-timed challenges or anticipating a pass. So, improved logic when stand or slide tackling the ball to a teammate. Added a new deflection control system to make block shots put the ball away from danger instead of just bouncing straight back. Added a new deflection control system to try to keep possession or move the ball to a teammate when making an interception. Opponents will feel the effect of the tackle more severely when dispossessed of the ball by playing a realistic reaction after the tackle, thereby reducing the likelihood of them recovering the ball back right after getting successfully tackled. Stop the bounce backs. So, FC25, here we go. A few examples. If you're tackling them, not getting the ball, tackling them, not getting the ball, tackling them, it bounces straight back to them. Tackling them, it bounces straight back to them. So these new changes in 26, tackling it here, keeping possession. You'll notice the player who is getting tackled sort of animate past the person that's tackled them. I think one of the problems right now is when you tackle someone, the animation of the player that has been tackled pretty much just like falls into you, and then you collide, and that's why they end up keeping the ball. Your player doesn't go past them after they've got the ball back from them. Whereas right now, you see multiple of these animations where there's a very clear coming together, tackle, they go past each other. That looks like the big change that they've tried to do here. Again here, muscling off. It's a huge, huge tackle by Militao. I mean, if manual defending is actually improved in the way that it looks like it might be, then it can only be a very positive thing. Improved logic for spamming tackle to make the delay after a missed tackle more consistent. Good, because there are a lot of people that do this. When pressing stand tackle near the dribbler about to take a shot, the defender will be more likely to try to tackle rather than block. That makes sense. Reduce the effectiveness of tackling from behind the dribbler. I mean, I'm glad you've done it. I don't know why you didn't address it in 25, but is it because... I tell you, like, the gameplay changes that they're making, it feels like these are the kind of changes you get when you switch engine. They've not done that, as far as we're aware, but they're changing all the core mechanics, which is... it is massive. So maybe that's why it didn't really get touched throughout the year, because the whole thing was changing for this one. I don't know. Added more player personality for stand tackles. So the higher your stand tackle attribute, you can perform more animations for tackling. Okay. Oh, so the interception. So you intercepted it here on the left, and it still goes straight through to the attacker because the interception is so heavy. Whereas on the right-hand side, the interception is more controlled, and so you do actually keep the ball afterwards. Right, next up, there's so much. It's going to take a while, but we're getting there. Passing and shooting. Some of the strongest, let me just quickly check this. Some of the strongest feedback we got on passing and shooting is that they can often feel sluggish. Yep. Pass responsiveness. With our focus on core mechanics, we dedicated significant effort to ensuring passes are as responsive as possible. Rebalanced animation restrictions to allow passing to cover a broader range of angles. Cool. Enabled first touch animations for passes when contextually appropriate. Good. Increased animation coverage for passes behind, also allowing back heel passes to play contextually in these scenarios. Yeah, back heels basically don't exist. First time 135 and 180 degree through passes are now significantly less accurate to avoid directed run related exploits. I can't remember the last time I heard EA actually use the word exploit when, like, describing a meta tactic. Interesting. Optimize short distance, low power passes to prefer faster, more responsive animations with minimal wind up. Okay, so in 25, this is what we're looking at. And then in 26, just more speed. Good. Improve through pass targets. We've introduced the concept of passing lanes for semi-assisted through passes. Aiming at a specific passing lane ensures the best target selection for the intended receiver within that lane. Respecting your aim and intention. Interesting. So if you aim a through ball to the left of a defender, it won't do the through ball to the right-hand side, which is clearly not where it was aimed and not what anyone wanted. Right? Good. Time finishing, it looks like it has gone. Yes, we're getting down there, slowly but surely. Improved pass receiver for selection. Good. Adjusted crosses to leave more in front of the target. Good. Regular ground passes will now have a straighter trajectory with less contextual curve. Good. Teammates will now maintain their position to receive ground passes instead of moving away. Block passes will have more driven trajectories when the path is unobstructed. Good, so it doesn't need to needlessly lob when there's no one in the way. Goalkeeper throws, improved throw targets from the down of butt hands or underarm throw, though. We'll see. Adjusted clearance logic to make them more responsive on clearances. Personally, this is essentially an 11-side multi game to you. You'll actually play career mode. Don't really have a clue what that means, if I'm honest with you. But okay, shooting responsiveness. To make shooting more fair and rewarding, we've enhanced responsiveness. Close range shots near the net will use more reactive animations with minimal wind-up. Good. Shooting angles have been rebalanced to enable shooting to cover a broader range of angles. Here we go then. Load-driven additions and timed finishing removal. Load-driven shots will be performed by double-tapping the shot button. Load-driven is now a global shot modifier instead of being contextual based on your shot power. Check the be a keeper part. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No. No. Okay, so with the new button mapping, we have the opportunity to extend the load-driven mechanic across all shot types by pressing the shot button again after powering up your shot. So a load-driven lace shot, you just power up and then shoot again. Load-driven finesse is just finesse and you double tap. Load-driven trivela does exist by holding left trigger. Same with load-driven flare shot, I guess if you don't have trivela. Load-driven power shot is possible. You can do a load-driven volley and header, but not chip shot, of course. Wouldn't make sense. So actually being able to make sure a header goes down into the floor, I like that one the most out of all of this. I'm not going to lie. Really good. Due to the changes to load-driven, time finishing has been removed. Big thing.
Yeah, watch out next year. They might move more stuff.
And prove difficult to balance.
I know what's going to happen. They get more better.
I'd agree with the second half of this more than the first. Like, if you can green time shots, that does add a skill gap to people that don't do it. You can score a larger range of goals by being able to green time. However, balancing it was something that they didn't do. It disproportionately rewarded long-range shots and felt inconsistent in high-pressure moments. Yes, the fact that you can green time a shot in the box and it still doesn't go in, yet you can green time a trivela with a right back with 35 shooting and it makes it go in, I'd agree. And you know what? Fair play for just admitting that they found it hard to balance it. We're going to get rid of it instead of keeping it and trying to tweak it again and failing once again. Removing it allows us to balance shooting to produce more consistent outcomes. This allows more skill differentiation through precision shooting. So they are going to push precision shooting to build a skill gap. I mean, I feel like a lot of people this year jumped on precision shooting. I personally haven't, but maybe in this new game I'll have to. So load-driven finesse, load-driven power shot, load-driven volley, the load-driven header. Yeah, into the floor, like you saw in that big save. Okay. It does all sound amazing, but yes, of course, we cannot truly judge until the game is out. Right, trivelas. Trivela shots will now be connected to the new Game Changer playstyle. A player without this playstyle will not be able to perform trivelas. No more trivelaing from 30 yards with Kyle Walker-Peters.
No. Not anymore.
Visually impressive and powerful, trivela shots became overused by players across all positions. We're looking at you, David. Often
Oh.
Some pop for you. How much is it going to be done now?
leading to unrealistic and exploitable scoring patterns. Yes, Our goal with this change is to balance the shooting mechanics of the game, especially in competitive gameplay. So, Trivela shots can now only be performed by players with this playstyle or playstyle plus, the game changer one. If a player doesn't have it, attempting a Trivela shot will default to a lace shot instead. Okay, see the playstyle section for more details on that. You've been asking us to increase fluid attacking movements while also having a logical defensive structure. So, attacking positioning, player support, re-evaluated the positioning logic to provide better supporting options for the ball carrier. Good. Attacking runs, increase the number of attacking runs to lower reliance on triggered runs. Good. Attacking runs more consistently run into open space. Good. All players will be more likely to make the best attacking run options instead of strictly following what the player role dictates. Good. All right. Teams will have a more balanced approach with balanced build-up, giving you run options as well as play support options. Where's the stuff about fixing the delay? Oh, wait. Oh, look. You know I don't like defending EA often. However, literally the first pitch notes that they came out with was specifically about fixing delay last week when the trailer dropped.